Let me tell you about Daniel, a man everyone in the village respected. He was polite, always greeted people warmly, and attended church without fail. Every January 1st, Daniel would write his New Year resolutions with a smile on his face. He wrote them in beautiful handwriting, sometimes even reading them aloud to friends. People admired him for having goals. They would say, "At least Daniel is trying. At least he has plans." He would sow seeds in church, believing God would bless his year. He fasted publicly, showing everyone he was serious about change. Some years he fasted for 3 days, other years a full week. And every time, people nodded approvingly. But here is what no one noticed at first. By the end of January, Daniel's notebook would be closed. By February, it was buried under papers. By March, forgotten completely. The goals never changed. The dreams never moved. And Daniel? He remained exactly the same. Year after year, nothing grew. But he always had an explanation ready. Daniel's resolutions sounded impressive. Lose weight, start a business, save money, learn a new skill. Every January, he believed this year would be different. He truly did. For the first 2 weeks, he woke up early. He exercised once or twice. He opened books he never finished. But by week 3, old habits crept back in. He slept late again, skipped the morning routine, told himself he was too tired. The books collected dust. The business ideas stayed as notes. The weight stayed exactly where it was. Yet Daniel prayed for harvests he never watered. He sowed seeds but refused to tend the soil. He asked God to bless his future but would not work on his present. Friends began to notice the pattern, but they said nothing. After all, who were they to judge? Daniel smiled, attended events, and spoke confidently about his plans. But inside, frustration was building. He blamed time. He blamed bad luck. He blamed unseen enemies. He blamed everything except the one person responsible: himself. Then there was Samuel, Daniel's close friend. Samuel was always there when Daniel felt discouraged. Whenever Daniel doubted himself, Samuel had comforting words. "Don't stress yourself, brother," Samuel would say. "Destiny cannot be rushed. What will be, will be." Daniel found relief in those words. They removed the pressure. They silenced the inner voice that screamed at him to change. Samuel never pushed Daniel to do more. He never asked why the goals were abandoned. He never challenged Daniel's excuses. Instead, he encouraged rest, patience, and waiting on divine timing. What Daniel did not know was this: Samuel was drowning in his own stagnant life. He feared being left behind. If Daniel succeeded, Samuel would have to face his own laziness. So Samuel kept Daniel comfortable. He fed Daniel's excuses. He celebrated Daniel's intentions instead of his actions. And Daniel trusted him completely. He stopped questioning his own habits. After all, his good friend agreed with him. Surely he was on the right path. But comfort is a dangerous friend when growth is what you need. Years earlier, Daniel had a mentor named Pastor Gideon. Pastor Gideon was different from Samuel. He asked hard questions. He demanded proof of effort, not just words. When Daniel made excuses, Pastor Gideon would not accept them. "Faith moves," the pastor would say. "If it's not moving, it's not faith." Under Pastor Gideon's watch, Daniel actually made progress. He completed a course. He paid off a small debt. He followed through on commitments. But then Pastor Gideon received a transfer. He moved to another town to lead a different church. The day he left, he warned Daniel, "Stay sharp, my son. Without accountability, discipline dies." Daniel nodded and promised to stay focused. But promises made without pressure are easily broken. With Pastor Gideon gone, no one confronted Daniel anymore. No one asked about his resolutions. No one demanded he show results. Samuel filled the empty space with soft words and low expectations. And that was when everything began to fall apart. Bad habits grew unchecked. Procrastination became normal. Fear disguised itself as wisdom. Daniel began to notice something painful. His old classmates were moving forward. Some had started businesses. Others bought homes. A few traveled abroad for better opportunities. They posted pictures, shared success stories, and celebrated milestones. At first, Daniel liked their posts and congratulated them. But slowly, bitterness began to grow in his heart. He started avoiding gatherings. When invitations came, he made excuses. He said he was busy, but he was actually hiding. Seeing others succeed made him feel small. It reminded him of his stagnant life, his unchanging income, his abandoned dreams. So he withdrew. He smiled when he had to, but the smile no longer reached his eyes. Inside, resentment festered. He told himself they were lucky. He told himself they had connections he did not have. He told himself God had not favored him the way he favored them. But deep down, he knew the truth. They worked while he waited. They risked while he hesitated. They acted while he wrote resolutions. And instead of learning from them, he chose isolation. As time passed, Daniel increased his spiritual activities. He fasted more often. He prayed longer prayers. He sowed more seeds in church. People thought he was becoming more devoted. But something was deeply wrong. While his rituals increased, his actions decreased. Opportunities came his way. A friend offered him a partnership. A relative mentioned a job opening. A neighbor wanted to teach him a profitable skill. Every time, Daniel hesitated. He worried about losing money. He feared failure. He imagined the worst outcomes and convinced himself to stay safe. So he turned down every opportunity. He called it wisdom. He called it caution. He called it waiting on God's perfect timing. But it was fear, plain and simple. His faith grew louder in words, but his actions disappeared completely. He became a man who prayed for open doors but refused to walk through them. And as months turned into years, something terrible happened inside Daniel's heart. Bitterness quietly replaced hope. He no longer believed things could change. He only pretended they would. One evening, Daniel sat with Samuel, complaining about his life. Samuel listened quietly, then spoke carefully. "Brother Daniel, maybe we need to accept something." Daniel looked up. "What?" Samuel sighed deeply. "Some people are not meant to rise. Maybe your destiny is to remain humble. Maybe God wants you exactly where you are." Those words sank into Daniel's mind like poison. At first, he resisted. But Samuel continued. "Look at us. We're good people. We pray. We fast. We sow seeds. Yet we're still here. Maybe this is where we belong." Daniel wanted to argue, but exhaustion won. The words felt comforting in a twisted way. If he was not meant to rise, then he was not responsible for staying down. If destiny had limits, then effort was pointless. Slowly, Daniel accepted the lie. He stopped fighting. He stopped hoping. He stopped trying. Self-sabotage now felt spiritual. Laziness disguised itself as humility, and fear wore the mask of faith. Daniel convinced himself he was at peace. But peace built on lies is just surrender wearing a smile. December came again. Another year was ending. Daniel sat alone in his room, staring at the ceiling. Same life, same income, same regrets. The goals from January? Forgotten. The seeds he sowed? Yielded nothing. He thought about his peers again. They had changed, grown, moved forward. But Daniel remained frozen. He felt like a tree stuck in one season while the world around him changed. Tears filled his eyes, but he wiped them quickly. Crying felt like admitting defeat. He picked up his old notebook and flipped through the pages. His resolutions from 7 years ago stared back at him. Word for word, they matched this year's resolutions. Identical dreams. Zero progress. Panic gripped his chest. How did 7 years vanish with nothing to show? He wanted to scream, but his voice felt trapped. That evening, he walked through town, lost in thought. The streets were decorated for Christmas. People shopped, laughed, and made plans for the new year. Daniel felt invisible. Then, something caught his eye. A banner flapping in the December wind. It was an advertisement for a seminar. The banner read, "Stop setting goals. Start keeping them. 3-day seminar, December 29th, 30, 31. Daniel stopped walking. His first thought was to ignore it. Seminars were for motivated people. He was tired, but something inside him stirred. A small, desperate voice whispered, "What if this changes everything?" He took a picture of the banner with his phone. That night, he almost deleted it. Samuel called him, suggesting they travel for the New Year holiday. "We deserve rest, brother," Samuel said. "Let's enjoy ourselves." But Daniel hesitated. Rest had not helped him before. Comfort had only kept him stuck. He looked at the seminar details again. It was not about miracles. It was not about motivation. The description said, uncomfortable truths, practical systems, no shortcuts. That scared Daniel. Growth felt dangerous. Change meant leaving his comfort zone. On December 28th, he made a decision. He would attend, just to see. He told Samuel, who immediately discouraged him. "Those seminars are scams, brother. Don't waste your money." But for the first time in years, Daniel ignored Samuel's advice. On December 29th, he walked into the seminar hall. Late, hesitant, but present. The seminar room was full. People of all ages sat with notebooks, ready to learn. Daniel found a seat at the back. The speaker was a middle-aged woman named Mrs. Ada. She did not smile much. She did not offer comforting words. Instead, she began with a question. How many of you have written the same resolutions for more than 3 years? Hands went up slowly. Daniel's hand stayed down, but guilt burned in his chest. Mrs. Ada continued, "Let me tell you something that will offend you. God multiplies effort. He does not replace it." The room went silent. She went on, "You sow seeds and expect harvest, but you never water the ground. You pray for open doors, but you don't walk through them. You fast for breakthroughs, but you break your own discipline every February." Every word felt like a mirror held up to Daniel's face. His excuses felt exposed. His laziness felt naked. He wanted to leave. Then his phone buzzed. A message from Samuel. "Leave that seminar. They're just making you feel bad." Daniel stared at the message. Then he looked at Mrs. Ada. She was teaching about systems, accountability, and consistent action. He put his phone away. He stayed. Over the next 3 days, Daniel learned things that shattered his old mindset. Mrs. Ada taught them to write goals with consequences. Not just what they wanted, but what it would cost if they failed. She taught them to break every goal into weekly actions. No yearly magic. Progress happened weekly. She taught them to attach each goal to a daily habit. If it was not in the daily routine, it was not real. She taught them to track progress publicly. Accountability kills excuses. She taught them to accept small failures fast and adjust instead of abandoning everything. She taught them to remove comfort triggers because growth and comfort do not coexist. She taught them to stop waiting for motivation because systems beat feelings. She taught them to review monthly, not yearly. Waiting 12 months is self-sabotage. On the final day, Mrs. Ada made them write a commitment statement. Daniel wrote his with shaking hands. He listed his goals, his weekly actions, and his accountability partner. Then she said something that broke him. Faith is not lazy. Faith works. Daniel cried that evening, not from sadness, but from realizing how many years he had wasted. He committed publicly to change, this time with a plan. The new year began, but Daniel was different. He followed the system Mrs. Ada taught. Every Sunday, he reviewed his week. Every morning, he completed one small action toward his goals. He failed sometimes, missed workouts, skipped tasks, but instead of quitting, he adjusted and continued. By March, people noticed changes. He lost weight. He finished an online course. He started a small side business selling phone accessories. By June, the business was making steady profit. By September, his income had doubled. By December, it had tripled. Confidence returned to his eyes. He attended gatherings again, not to compare, but to learn. He shared his story with others. Some mocked him, some doubted, but the results spoke louder than words. Samuel watched from a distance, shocked and uncomfortable. Daniel had broken free from the cage they both built, and now Samuel was alone in it. Then something unexpected happened. Daniel's old notebooks were discovered during a family gathering. His cousin found them while cleaning. She flipped through them and gasped, "Daniel, these resolutions are identical for 7 years." The room went silent. The notebooks were passed around. Page after page, same goals, same handwriting, same dreams. Zero progress until this year. Daniel's face burned with shame, but he did not lie. "Yes," he admitted. "I wasted 7 years writing goals I never kept." His uncle asked, "What changed this year?" Daniel explained the seminar, the system, the discipline, the accountability. Then his cousin found something else. Old messages between Daniel and Samuel. Messages where Samuel discouraged action. Messages where Samuel celebrated excuses. Messages where Samuel kept Daniel comfortable. The room turned cold. Someone read one message aloud. "Don't stress yourself, Daniel. Some people are not meant to rise." Another message. "Stay humble, brother. God will lift you when he's ready." Daniel's younger brother stood up, angry. "Samuel kept you down intentionally." Daniel did not defend Samuel. He could not. The evidence was clear. Samuel had been a false friend. Not because he hated Daniel, but because he feared Daniel's success. The crowd murmured. Shock, anger, disappointment. Someone called Samuel to come and explain himself. He arrived confused. Then he saw the messages displayed on a phone. His face went pale. Samuel tried to defend himself. "I was only trying to help Daniel avoid stress." But Daniel's uncle cut him off. You were helping him avoid growth. The elders present asked Samuel hard questions. Why did he discourage every opportunity? Why did he celebrate laziness? Why did he trap Daniel in comfort? Samuel had no answers, only shame. Then they turned to Daniel. And you, Daniel, why did you listen? Daniel stood up. Because I wanted an excuse. I wanted someone to agree with my laziness. Samuel gave me permission to fail, and I took it gratefully. The honesty silenced the room. One elder spoke. A false friend is worse than an open enemy. Samuel kept you caged with comfort. Another elder added, but you held the key the whole time. You chose the cage. Both men stood judged. Samuel for his deception, Daniel for his willing blindness. The elders gave their verdict. Samuel lost the trust of many that day. His influence crumbled. But Daniel gained something more valuable than pity. He gained respect, not because he succeeded, but because he admitted his failure and chose to change. The crowd slowly dispersed. The truth had been spoken. The reckoning was complete. Months later, Daniel stood in front of a small group of young people. They invited him to share his story. He did not sugarcoat it. He told them about the wasted years, the repeated resolutions, the comfortable lies, the false friend, the seminar that changed everything. Then he said something they never forgot. I used to sow seeds every January and expect miracles by December. But miracles don't follow seeds. They follow stewardship. He explained the difference. Sowing is easy. Stewarding is hard. Sowing takes a moment. Stewarding takes months. Sowing feels spiritual. Stewarding requires discipline. God blessed my efforts this year, Daniel said. Not because I prayed more, but because I finally worked with my prayers. The young people listened carefully. One asked, what happened to Samuel? Daniel paused. He is still where I left him. Comfortable, unchanged, waiting for miracles he refuses to work for. As Daniel walked home that evening, he felt peace. Real peace. Not the fake peace of surrender, but the earned peace of transformation. His journey was not over, but he was finally moving. And that made all the difference. The seeds he planted this year? They took root. Because this time he watered them. Moral of the story. Listen carefully, my dear listeners. This story teaches us something powerful. Faith without action is self-deception. You cannot pray for harvest while refusing to work the soil. You cannot fast for breakthroughs while breaking your own discipline every February. God multiplies effort. He does not replace it. Remember, discipline speaks louder than intention. Anyone can write goals. Anyone can sow seeds. Anyone can make promises. But only those who act consistently will see change. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Sometimes the people who keep you comfortable are not your friends. They are your jailers. And sometimes you are your own jailer. Choose accountability over comfort. Choose effort over excuses. Choose movement over miracles you refuse to work for. The difference between Daniel's wasted years and his breakthrough year was not more prayer. It was more action, more consistency, more courage to face uncomfortable truths. So I ask you today, what habit in your life has been praying for change instead of working for it? What goal have you written for 3, 5, or 7 years without progress? What comfortable lie have you accepted as truth? This year can be different, but only if you decide to move. If this story touched your heart, if it challenged you, if it made you think about your own life, please do me a favor. Press that like button right now. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another powerful story like this one. These folktales carry wisdom that can change lives, but I need your help to spread them far and wide. Now, here is something I am very curious about. In the comments section below, tell me where you are watching this story from. Which country? Which city? I want to know how far these folktales have traveled. Anywhere in the world? Drop your location in the comments. Let me see how far this story has reached. And while you are there, tell me, what did you learn from Daniel's story? What will you do differently this year? I read every single comment, and I love hearing from you. Remember, a story shared is a lesson multiplied. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it today. Thank you for watching. Until the next folktale, stay blessed, stay disciplined, and keep moving forward.